As Edric Delmar saw his quarry scurrying away from him, he smiled and dug his heels into Dragon. The massive horse bellowed and sprinted off towards the men desperately fleeing below.
"Only two,"
Edric muttered.
"None big enough to be the Shadow Man."
As he reached the first man, he brought his giant war club down on the back of his knee. The man let out a sound that was hardly human, and the bone that had pierced through his skin was evidence as to why. The other man broke into a sprint, his eyes wild and his mouth foaming, but Dragon needed only a few paces to close the gap. Edric leapt from his saddle and landed atop the fleeing man. He grabbed him by the throat and raised the helpless criminal to his eye level.
"You either tell me where the Shadow Man is, or I'll break you like a toothpick."
The man's eyes widened, and his mouth gaped wildly as he tried to answer under the crushing force of Edric's grip. With a furious roar, Edric dropped the man to the ground. As the poor soul gasped desperately for air, Edric took hold of his arm and pulled as hard as he could. With a sickening pop, the arm left its socket, and the man screamed in pain.
"Where's the Shadow Man?"
Edric roared, a manic anger in his eyes.
Golden pony."
The man sobbed, his useless arm dangling at his side, the green grass of the hillside in his face. "Seven hells, Edric," came a voice from behind him. Without having to turn around, Edric knew the voice belonged to Dickon, and the sound of 3 horses could only mean that Edric's squires were with him. "How dare you ride off like that?" Dickon continued, swinging out of his saddle quickly and advancing on Edric.
"I told you there's no way I'm taking that lordship."
This phrase halted Dickon in his tracks. Only hours before, the knights had stood around a table with Lord Veraguros as they dealt with the plans to expand their territory. Varric had explained that the borders within his land would need to be defined, and he planned on each of the 3 knights to hold a portion of the land and rule as its lord. After that, Edric had not heard anything, and had left the castle in pursuit of the Shadow Man, a criminal at large responsible for numerous missing children.
"Edric,"
Dickon said,
"we need you to hold land, to help us grow this kingdom. I'm going to catch that kidnapping bastard Dickon. We have no time for that talk now."
Behind Edric, the criminal had taken the distraction as an opportunity, and began to run as quickly as he could away from the group, his dislocated arm dangling at his side. Dickon sighed as Edric turned wildly towards the man.
"Edric, please wait."
But Edric had already turned, and was moving swiftly towards the fleeing criminal. Building up speed, Edric gradually broke into a sprint, his voice building with each step as he advanced on the man. All at once, he launched himself forward, his armor crashing into the man with an ungodly force. Once atop the man, Edric began to bring his fists down, one after another, over and over again. "Damn it," Dickon muttered as he began to take off towards the white-haired giant. The sound of hooves beating the earth grew as it passed Dickon, though, and the pair of squires advanced on their master much quicker than Dickon could run. Edric continued to beat the man over and over, blood adorning his fists and the sound of soft crunching yielding with each blow. Braun reached Edric first and swung off his horse.
"Sir Delmar, please stop,"
he cried as he reached to grab Edric's arm. Edric spun towards the boy, a madness in his eyes unlike any they had seen before. It was as if he could not see the boy, though he was right in front of him.
"He killed my dad!"
Edric roared, bringing his fist up once again. Bits of soft white tissue adorned his knuckles, and the sight of the beaten man was inhuman. Braun reached for Edric's arm again.
"It wasn't him,"
but the boy's voice was interrupted by Edric's fist. The boy was sent backward onto his side, like a rag doll. Edric wheeled around to pounce on the boy, but Dickon was in his way. Edric roared and delivered a crushing punch to Dickon's gut, which buckled his knees and brought him to the ground as well. In that moment, the world stood still. The soft sound of sobbing from Braun made the color and madness drain from Edric's body. He looked at the boy. He looked at his hands. He looked at the sky. And the Dragonbane wept. Okay, I think it's time. I think it's time that we at least get set up to do what we need to do. If Glitterdell is the goal, then that's where we need to be heading. And so we are going to move this set of men from Ashemark to Thurrock. And then, let's see. Then we're going to go ahead and declare war, invasion of Glitterdell. And we kind of have a little bit of a plan going, because once the invasion of Glitterdell has begun, we can expect a coalition of first men to rise up against us. And my decision is going to be this. If Windhall, which is this little county right here, if Windhall raises levies to attack us, then we'll go ahead and declare an invasion of them as well. We'll go ahead and you know, get a 2-for-1 deal, so to speak. That way we can go ahead and conquer the entire High Lordship. The thing that's going to improve our chances, though, is if that doesn't happen, if we go ahead and take Glitterdell quickly, we can form the High Lordship, and that gives us an increase in the number of men that we're able to raise. So if we declare an invasion of Glitterdell right here, and then we raise up our levies from the military tab, what we can do is get everybody to march on Glitterdell. This 1,200 man unit, it should be more than enough to deal with what they have. Let's merge these units. I'm gonna have Varric lead here, and then I should. I don't have any characters there. I can go ahead and recall my counselors. So I can recall Lionel. And let's see. October 1st is when I can recall him. Same thing with Edric. But we can go ahead and put Lionel on the flank and begin marching. And then once we hit that October 1st date, we can go ahead and put Edric in line right there. I wonder if we should wait. Yeah, let's go ahead and wait. Because, I mean, let's just not even risk it. I know we want to win quickly, but let's just not even risk the issues here. Here we go. Let's merge these units and march. Oh, look, the majority of the population of Thurrock has converted to the Faith of the Seven. That's good. That means both of these counties are now Faith of the Seven, like... Look, Windhall joined. My lord, we've received word from Windhall. Lord Oliver has led them to join a coalition in defense of Glitterdell, and has issued a declaration of war against us. They won't be the only ones, but we'll be able to crush them. I can't declare 2 wars at the same time. Dang. How long do we need? We need 14 days before our siege weapons can be deployed. It's not even October 1st yet. That's funny. Okay, so let's, there's Edric. Let's recall Edric. And Edric could lead this flank on this side. I don't think I don't think we have any siege leaders. We don't. Okay, that's okay. We're in good shape there. We have 14 days. 5 days now. So what we'll do, I think the best thing for us to do is to go ahead and assault. Our defenders launched an unsuccessful raid. Good, look, they're already down. We're gonna assault. I want to do this quickly before any more of the coalition of first men rise up against us. And good. Let's take their family and put them in the dungeon. That's 100% war score. That was so easy. Wow, that was easy. That's crazy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to disband. Somebody mentioned this in the comment section not that long ago. Disband from the intrigue tab, or from the military tab. And that way our event troops stay where they're supposed to be. Okay, now we can form the High Lordship of Ashemark. Good, so that gives us the High Lordship, and that gives us quite a bit of... I think that does anyways. Yeah, look, our total dements were able to raise up about 3,600 men. New administration in Thurrock lasts until there. Recently conquered lasts until October 4th of next year, but I wonder if, now that we're a High Lord, we can begin to dish out these titles. How many men does Windhall have? 1.9. See, they have more than what Glitterdell had. I'm just taking a look here and seeing the overall. See, this guy's not a very good leader. Okay. Well, that's actually okay. We can, we're going to set our crown focus in Ashemark. We can press de jure ducal claims instead of an invasion. We can actually negotiate annexation. I don't think this guy will do it, though, because he doesn't like us. And I don't think Varric's in a very negotiating mood at the moment. Let's see. The only good thing about doing a de jure claim is that there won't be like this coalition of first men that can rise up. But if we do a de jure ducal claim, he just becomes our vassal. We don't actually conquer the land. That's the only trade-off. We don't get the land as a result of winning the war. So it is a little bit of a trade-off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until our levies kind of raise back up and give the recently conquered nerf here in Glitterdell a chance to kind of even out. Once we take Windhall, we'll begin the distribution of the land that we have. Let's see if Oxcross is the same. Force value. Yep, we can invade Oxcross, which is good. We need to do that. We need to do that before the Rock does. The Rock is currently our biggest enemy. And so what we need to do is we get Oxcross, and that gives us an in with another High Lordship, but it also gives us access to this High Lordship right here, which will be the second one that we form. So then we can begin to take control of these here in the Golden Tooth. If that makes any sense. That's exactly what we're going for. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. It's just not, it's not what Varric would do right now. So we're gonna give this a little bit of time and work on. Yeah, let's send Dickon to pacify the province here. Right there. We can resign. How did I do that last time with Edric? There we go. That's easy. Alright, so let's... What is this? let's train troops here in Glitterdell. Let's see if this does anything to maybe like negate some of the effect of that recently conquered modifier. If we can offset that a little bit and get them to go ahead and start like building up a little bit of a levy, then we'll be in good shape. I'm gonna leave our event troops right there only because I believe once we're able to attack Windhall, we want it to happen quick. Spymaster's idle, so let's have him scheme. We have a new commander position. Awesome. Actually, we have two. Let's see. Cool. Those guys are fine. Excellent. Okay, so this is all good. We have the ability to ransom some prisoners, too, by the looks of it. Nope. Moira's still in prison. How long has she been in prison? She's been imprisoned for a year. Betha is the guy that we just conquered, his wife. There's no chance. I think because they're women, I can't. I think that's the deal. I know that in this new update, this is actually Game of Thrones 1.7. There's been a little bit of change in the dynamic of how forced conversion works, and so it may be something to look at and see if that's even an option to pursue anymore. I don't know if it will be or not. Why is this saying? Oh, it probably just hasn't. There we go. That's good. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to advance a little bit, let our levies build back up to the point where we have the ability to raise more men than they do. Right now, it's like very, very... Well, I mean, we double what they have. Almost double, but still, I don't want to take any chances. If we're gonna do this, let's do it the right way, and let's give this just a little bit of time. Now that we're a High Lord, to begin the advancement that we need to do. But we've taken 3 counties, or well, yeah, Ashemark, Thurrock, and Glitterdell, and we're about to take Windhall. The peasants of Thurrock are quite far apart and spread out. Your spymaster, Lionel Redfield, suggests investing in a provincial messenger system so that they can communicate with their kin more easily. He claims that doing so will attract more peasants to the county. An excellent suggestion from my spymaster, Sir Lionel Redfield. So, let's go ahead and do that. Yes, an excellent idea. It costs 40 gold, but that's okay. We have supply limit +1, and then Thurrock, the prosperity of Thurrock increases, which is exactly what we're going for at this point. So, yeah, we're going to allow that to go, and hopefully that leads to a little bit more prosperity. Oh, hold on, I wonder, did we recall, or yeah, we did, okay. Currently in Ashemark, we don't need that because Ashemark is Faith of the Seven, correct? Yes, religion is Faith of the Seven, so we don't need that. We can recall. And we can proselytize Glitterdell, which is what we want, for sure. And yeah, Thurrock is Faith of the Seven as well. So let's have them convert as much as we can in Glitterdell. Revolt risk is 18% in Thurrock. Religious unrest. I wonder if we need to put EDRIK back there to suppress. I don't know if I can. I have to wait a little bit. What's the next build in Ashemark that we can make? It's time to take a look at that. If we do the castle town and increase our tax income, we end up with about 50 gold left. And that's not exactly what I want. Light cavalry +45. We get some heavy infantry and pikemen from barracks. Light infantry and archers, so we get more men from militia training ground, but they're the weaker units. Basic defenses gives us fort level +1, which will help in a siege, but I think we'll be okay without that. I think stables is probably the best way to go. Cavalry are a dominant unit in this game, along with heavy infantry. And so it's either going to be stables or barracks. I think stables are probably the way to go for the time being. So let's do that. Let's do stables. Since we have, you know, a little bit of time, we can move forward with that. My liege, I am pleased to report, wow, this is awesome, the success of my mission to Glitterdell. The majority of the population has been converted to Faith of the Seven Faith. Your humble septon, Kristen. Amazing. Okay, so we have a couple of holdings. It's time. We actually have one barony right now that we can go into. Let's look at the title holders. Walter, demand religious conversion. Mathis of B-Town, demand religious conversion. And then City of Honeydew, demand religious conversion. Let's look at this guy's traits and stats. Oh, he's zealous. There's no way he's going to convert. That guy's going to have to be gone. Yep, that guy's going to have to be gone for sure. Let's see what they do. They will understand eventually. Yep, Garrett did not. Mathis converted, and then Walter did not either. So they'll all regret this. So Mathis is the first one to go. You guys seem to be quite on board with me, just like imprisoning them and removing the tyranny by that. So we have a 54% chance based on our state intrigue. Or we can just revoke. I think imprison's probably the way to go. I don't want that to like backfire and like blow up in my face though. 54%'s not that great. I wonder why it's so low. His intrigue's not that high. What is it for the other guy? 56, I mean... Let's do it. That was not a just act. Well... Okay, so they're both imprisoned now. And that's fine. So what we'll do... We now have... How much tyranny? Okay. Remove trait. Tyranny. I think it's .1. Actually, I think it's tyrant. Maybe not .1. Let's see if that did anything. It did not. Okay, so it's actually going to be like tyrant 6, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. And we're going to add trait just. Okay, cool. I mean, since we're on that path already, it just makes sense for us to do that. These guys can both pay their ransom, which is how much? 25 gold. Let's go ahead and call him for trial. I wonder if we should do that. I mean, that is the next logical step. Can banish him to the wall and we just take his title. He doesn't have an heir. It just reverts to the... Yep, let's do that. Whoop, what am I doing here? Oh, I can't banish this guy to the Night's Watch. Why? I guess let's call him for trial. I guess we can exile him. It adds more tyranny. Let's call him for trial. Let's try this method and see if we can it'll be Dickon Langhorn that'll preside over. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. He has a pretty good diplomacy. For the time being. I wonder if this is the right method. Let's check it out. Master Walter has demanded a trial before the court, which Sir Dickon Langhorn shall oversee to ensure justice is served. At the start of the trial, he is formally accused of sedition and conspiracy against the realm, a charge brought by Lord Varric-Uros. Master Walter begins to present his defense, and some decent arguments were made. Many in the court seem to sympathize with him. Sir Dickon shall now interrogate him. Sir Dickon stood before the court and aggressively questioned the accused. Many at the court were convinced by his arguments, but then again, many seemed unimpressed. So both made a reasonable case. A verdict has been reached. Sir Dickon proclaims, for the crime of sedition and conspiracy against the realm, I find Master Walter guilty. Good. So we'll have his head on a spike. And I want to see, because all of these are good. Let's have him hanged. He shall be hanged. And then, yeah, the titles are actually taken over by Andal First Men. Or, I'm sorry, Andal Faith of the Seven. Actually, that guy's a First Man, but he's Faith of the Seven. Which is interesting. Oh, no, that guy convert? That guy did convert. No, this guy converted. Interesting. What quality of education would you like to purchase for your courtier, Braun Arwell? Definitely, we're going to do exceptional education and Titus Blackheart as well. So that brings us down quite a bit. We have a couple, that event will pop up a couple more times for the different squires in our court. We're going to purchase them exceptional educations as much as we possibly can. So, yeah, I think that'll be the best option for us. It'll be interesting to see how they turn out. But let's go ahead and let's advance and see if we can build up these armies enough over the next couple of months in game and be able to launch our invasion of Windhall as well. So we have our first conspiracy against Varric-Uros. Master Lister, who's all the way back in Ashemark, has Ashton, which I believe is the city. Yeah, city of Ashton. This guy is leading a plot to kill Lord Varric of Ashemark. So, I think we could demand his religious conversion again. But I think it's just time for us to go ahead and arrest him. 42% is not great. But, I wonder if we put our spy master there, if that'll help. We can't. He's there to scheme, so plot discovery chance is there. Is there anybody that we can put there to help out? "10th of April we could. Let's go ahead and imprison him. Good. Men were sent to Ashemark to arrest Master Lister, were unable to get past his guards. Master Lister saw the futility in resisting, however, and surrendered himself to your custody. So, he definitely doesn't like us anymore, but we're gonna banish him to the Night's Watch. We're gonna feed the Night's Watch at the moment, and allow that to kind of be the top of the line for us. Now, yeah, both of these ladies still are unable to be ransomed. So, we'll have to see. Where did her husband go? Cape of Eagles, so that's over here. Actually, should be like Martlet Bay, right? Something like that. Not far. Not far away. Hopefully he makes some gold here pretty quickly. My studies and training have taught me the general tactics of flanks and center, but I can hardly master everything, so this is an excellent opportunity. We get to choose our next. We already have Mountain Expert, which is great because all of this is mountains, but we have the opportunity to choose our next little point of emphasis for our commander ability. So we can choose the center and be a direct leader. We can be a flanker. We can be a battlefield terrain master, or we can be a trickster. And I like trickster, but it doesn't really improve anything outright. Like, experimentality is one of those aspects of battles that's like, and not really like at the forefront of helping you. It can come in handy at certain points, but it's not really at the main portion of helping you. Now, battlefield terrain master, the narrow flank gets plus 50%, flanker flanking plus 20, direct leader leading from the center is plus 20. I think Varric's a direct leader. I think that's just who he is, and probably will be leading the center on most of the adventures. So let's go ahead and do that. Being a direct leader, it'll mean more battlefield duels, but I think he can handle it. Look, my liege, I am pleased to report that your errant subject Meredith has converted to the faith of the Seven. Praise the faith. I don't know why Meredith is. Oh, she's in the court of this guy, but she is converted. Master Ellery of Honeydew. So that's good. That's good. Let's keep moving forward because if we're lucky, we'll have a couple more men here pretty soon. Oh wow, hold on. Before we cut, looks like the guys that we started inviting that have our congenital traits that we married to our girls, or married to the women, have had some kids. So let's check them out. Riona doesn't have any congenital traits. You get the duty focus. A daughter was born to Sir Timmons and Tiona, named Caleria, who is a twin and a genius. The other twin is not. The other twin is not a genius, but we have our first, like, this is definitive, like, top of the line. That's awesome. We have our first advent of our eugenics program. A genius daughter. First man, not ideal, but faith of the Seven. So it's working already. This early on, it's working. And that's super exciting.